Yeah, hi everyone. So, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while since I have posted anything on this channel, but today I've been thinking that I should have post something on this channel because randomly I've been just going through one of my old videos and I just saw that this is the only video that is working well and performing well on this channel, which has around 16k views in within a year from past 1 year. And apart from that, none of my videos working that well. But I did see some of the comments on this video, and I thought that I should work on those feedbacks that I have received from you guys, and I should make another tutorial with a better things and keeping in mind all the feedback that I have received, just like that I should have used the screencast with the slow motion and other things. So, with that keeping in mind, let's get straight jump into Blender. So first of all, going to do one thing that I'm going to open a new tab just by left clicking and dragging it up. And we're going to change this to image editor. And I already created a render just for our preferences so we can check it out and we know what we are doing. So this is the product that we're going to make like here and I might change the UI of this so you'll be able to see it. Let me just check interface and let me scale it just like 1.5 will work, I guess. 1.3, yep. So you guys will be able to see accurately like what I'm doing in this tutorial. So here's the perfume bottles that I made and so for that keeping in mind, let's just get started. So first of all, I'm just going to delete our camera and our light. For that, just press X, delete, and you'll be able to delete it. Now, for this, it's just a rectangle that I made using simply this. So we're going to click on it, S for scale, X in the X-axis, and Y for the Y-axis. So we're going to keep it like that. We're going to press Control A to apply the scale, and we're going to apply the modifiers. So just we're going to apply a bevel modifier, something like that, and we're going to give it segment of 3 and something like that. We're going to make it shade auto smooth. So it's going to look something like this, which is not looking very good. For that, you can do one thing, coming over to shading tab and harden normal. So it's looking much better. Now, for this part, we're just going to duplicate it and scale it a bit. So in order to jump between these wireframe mode and solid view, you can either come here and click on these, or you can just press Shift Z to toggle between these two modes, or you can just click Z or Z and toggle from here. So I'm just keeping, and for the front view, you can press 1 on your numpad and you should be in this view. So with that keeping in mind, we're just going to duplicate it. For that, you can do one thing, press Shift plus D and it will duplicate it. Right click and it will remain to the same area, to the same space, and you can press S to scale it down, something like this. And if you want to scale it a bit slower or with a more control over it, you can press Shift and it will be more controllable, if that makes sense. So we're going to press S to scale, C on the Z axis, and we're going to keep it something like this. And in order to move it, you can use either these tools. These are for move tool. This is the move tool. This is the rotation tool. And this is the scaling tool, correct? So we do have our shortkeys in order to do all of these things, so it's better to learn the shortkeys. Control C to undo all of things. So in order to move it, if you're going to key hover your mouse, you will get the shortcut which is Shift Spacebar or G. So we're going to use Z to move it, and it will lock the axis like X, Y, or Z, correct? And in order to rotate, we have option called R. You can simply press R, double R to freely moving it. And if you want to just move it in a axis, you can just press R, X to move, rotate in X axis, Y to Y axis, Z to Z axis. And for the scale, we do have our short key, which is S to scale it, correct? So let me just go here and give it a shape that we're looking for. So whenever you work with the class, if you did your research, you will see that it never, let me just show you if I open my Pinterest and let give you a bit of idea. Perfume. So perfume class portals. If you're going to look at it, it's have more space in here than there. So we can see other portals as well. Perfume class portal. Let's search for that. Perfume class portal. Right. So we're not making anything fancy today. We're just a beginner tutorial. So if you're going to look here, it will give you a better idea. So this is how it should look like. Correct. So we're going to give it this kind of look. So in order to do that, we're going to move it a bit up. And if you see there's a curve like that. So we can also do that. In order to do that, we can do one thing, tab to go into the edit mode. Or you can do one thing, you can just go here, object, then you can go to the edit mode. So better learn the shortkeys, which is tab. So tab to go into edit mode, press again, and you will be in the object mode. So tab, and here are, so right now we are in the vertices mode. So this is called vertice 1. So in order to make a edge, we need two vertices. So these are the modes, like this is for the vertice edge select mode, and this is called the face select. So we need around three edges to make a face, two vertices to make a edge, and one vertice for the one vertice. So either you can come here and toggle between these, or you can just press 1, 2, 3 on your keyboard in order to switch between these. So one for the vertice, two for the edge, three for the face, correct? Let's press 1 to go to the front view mode, and we need to give it a bevel. So if you see in the uh, object mode, we don't have much options here. If you go to in the tab mode, we do have a lot of options. So we will check on it one by one. So this is insert faces. So insert faces is like you can insert, as is it mentioned from the name, you can insert the faces like this. So try something like this. So I'm not, or either you can do one thing, you can just press I on your keyboard and get the insert just like this. So it will give you more options like this. If you go to tab mode, you will see all of this. This one is for the bevel. You can bevel it, or you can just press Control V, B as in boy, to bevel it. So it's just a shortcut. So let me just undo all of this. Right. So let's come here. Let me apply the scale first. So a modify will look good. So what I just did right now, if you can see, our bevel is not working in here. It's just because we do have duplicate vertices on our mesh. So if you go into tab mode, you can't see it, right? But if you're gonna move it, you can see that there are duplicate vertices. It's not like here, but we do have it here. Like we don't have any vertices, duplicate vertices, so it's stretching all the mesh. But we do have a vertex here, so it's not working. So for that, you can do one thing. Come to vertex select mode, press A to select all of this, press M in your keyboard, and here you can merge the vertices. So we do have a lot of options, so we're going to use by distance. Now our bevel is good. Cool. Let's see. We're going to give it something like this. So what I'm going to do is just go to the front view. I'm going to select edges, the side edges, correct? In order to select multiple edges, you can hold Shift, then click, and you can select multiple, or you can just select it like this. So here, here, just select it, wireframe mode, Control B to bevel it, and it's going to look something like this. So, and in order to increase the segment for your bevel, you can just scroll up, scroll down. That's what you can do. So we going to take something like this, press S, x-axis, something like this. I think this will look good. Okay. So, and we can also do one thing, um, buzz distance, and we can just keep it like this, right? So here we have a basic shape of our perfume bottle. Now we're going to make the cap. Okay, so we haven't added any mesh into our object. So for that, you can do one thing that either you can go to add object here, or then you can add mesh, and we do have a short key which is Shift A. Here you can add all of the things. So we're going to add a circle like this, or we can do one thing, we can add a cylinder. Here we have a cylinder, or we can add a circle. We can add multiple things. So currently we're going to use the cylinder. So this is the orange dot that you're seeing in the middle of it. These are the origin points, and this is the 3D cursor. So which just tells us a place into the 3D space. So if you want to snap this to the 3D cursor, you can do one thing. After selecting the object, press Shift S and cursor to select it, or selection to cursor. It will lead it here. We're going to do one thing. Go to the tab mode, G, Z, and value 1. It will keep it to the cursor, to the face. So we are also going to do one thing. Select your cube, go to the face mode, select the face, Control S, cursor to selected, and then selection to cursor. It will snap it to the faces. So scale it down. We want it something like this. This is what we want, and we're also going to make this. Okay, so let's just shade smooth. Control A for the scale. Go to bevel modifier and scale it like this, and change the shading to half normals. It will look like this. So next thing we're going to do is just select the face, cursor to selected, and we're going to add a cylinder. Before clicking anywhere, you can just go to this menu, and here you can change the vertices or the size of the cylinder. So before clicking anywhere else, you can just modify the cylinder beforehand. So right now we're only going to need like 8 vertices, and it will look like this. G, Z, 1 to snap to the face, and we're going to scale it. Remember, in order to scale it for the z-axis, S, press C, and it will only scale into the z-axis. And if you want to scale this just for the x and the y-axis, but not the z-axis, so press S and Shift G to just scale it into the Y and the Z axis, but not the Z axis. So this is how it's going to look. Simple. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to add the bevel modifier to it, or you can do one thing, just select, shift select your object which have all the modifiers linked to it, Control L to link, and we're going to link our copy modifiers. There you go. It will copy all the modifier. Just Control A, scale, and it will work like that. Good. Going to do something like this. Auto smooth, and it will give you a look like this. Now we're going to work for this pipe. So for that, we can do one thing, that we're going to add a curve. So we need it from here. So I'm going to select cursor to select it. Then I'm going to add a curve. So we do have a lot of curves here, which is Bezier circle. We're going to learn a lot of related to the curves, but I would like to tell you a bit about it. So just the curve. I'm going to use the Bezier curve, which is going to look like this, and R Y 90 going to look like this, set 90 like this, and we're going to keep it like that. If you're going to tab mode, it'll look like this. So here you can just edit the curve like this. So I'm going to keep it something like this, like this, and something like this. So it will look like this. And now for giving it a bit depth, if you scroll down and you will see this option called data. It's for the curve, and you have to scroll down, go to the geometry tab, and here you have an option for the depth. Here you can control the depth. Right now I'm holding the shift key to keep it in control, and voila, here you have it. And we can do also one thing, that we can duplicate it, scroll it a bit down, up, keep it a bit down. Just like to merge with this cube around here and make it a bit smaller so it can just hold to the cap portion. So here you go. Here we have a basic shape, and you can also go to the X-ray view, which is this, so you can see what's inside it. Okay, and you can also disable it from here. And we also have matte caps. So here you can just change the material looking on it, or I would like to change it from here so you can see all the shading. It's just a metal preview mode. It's not the final color, if I may say, but it's just the way to see the roughness or the texture of the object that you're working on. So this is the first object. We're going to work on the second object, and before that we can also do one thing, that we can work on this label. So for that, just go to front view mode, tab, select the front face. If you're not comfortable with it, I can also change it to the back, to it like this. And you can do also one thing, go to this section again, open the cavity. It just give you a bit good look, if I say. So this is how it's going to be. Press Shift S, cursor to select it, so it's going to snap to the face. Shift A, and we're going to add a plane. R, X to rotate on the X axis, 90, and it will snap to the face. So we're going to scale it down, where it's down, and we're going to scale into the Y axis. It will look like this. Maybe scale a bit, and now we need to give it this round shape. For that, just go to the tab mode, vertices select mode. So Control B, and you have to press V in order to bevel the vertices, just like this. And again, you can choose the segments. If your vertices are looking like this, getting intersections, you can just press C on your keyboard to stop them Uh, it's just for the clipping, so it's just not overlapping. So we're going to keep something like this. Correct. So we can have this. And if you're seeing this glitch, it's just because render is trying to see between two faces. We can do also one thing, like you go to tab to edit mode, select all, press E to extrude the faces. So it will look something like this, and we have it, our label. Now for this text. Now you're wondering how we can add text to the mesh. So it's just very simple. We do have another option in Blender. So Shift A, and there we go. We have option called text. Here you go. So it's not in the right direction. Here we have all the options related to the text. So we're going to rotate it RX 90. Now we want it to the center of the region. So scroll down, horizontal call center. Top bottom, we also going to use the middle option. So it will be in the middle. Scale it down. And now you're wondering how you can write all of this. So for that, we're going to press tab, and now you can write whatever you want. So we're going to do one thing. Let's bring it a bit forward so you guys can see it. And now if you want to keep it, so you can press period key. So check it out and alone. So this is how it's going to look. Press one, tab, and we're going to write caps locks Felix. Press tab again, and you have it. Now if you want to change the font, for that you can go up here, scroll down, you will have an option called font. If you're going to right now, we only have four type of font, so if you're going to click on it here, it will automatically redirect you to the font option of your Windows. So here you can find all of the fonts that is already in your Windows or the Mac, and you can choose whatever you want. I haven't remember like what font I have used for this one, but we will try to find a similar font looking to this in order to give it this look. So you can choose whatever font you want, but I would like to go with this one. So let me see if I could find that for you guys. Uh, let's see. Scroll down, scroll down. I know it's just getting tedious to watch this long. I think this should work. So it's called Impressa. I think this is the closest to it. I think we can also find the similar font, but I think this will work. I'm liking this one, so we're going to have it like here. Same, Shift S, cursor to selected, Shift S. Now, if you're wondering like how you can convert this to a mesh, so for that, right click, convert to, and you can convert it to the mesh. Voila. So right now we can't just extrude it, so tap into edit mode, select all, E to edit. Extrude it, so you can have something like this. And now sheet smooth. You can also add the bubble modifier to it, or just keep it like that. So we have our first model ready. Okay, so let's get started working on our second model, which is just the hexagon shape. So for that, as I did for this cylinder right here, we're going to use the same model. So we're going to, in order to select it all, you can just left click, drag a box, and it will select all of it. G, X, and we're going to keep it right here. So it's going to look like this. And again, we're going to start modeling our second model, which is a bit faster if I say. So I'm going to add a cylinder. Right now it's have 8 vertices. We're only going to need like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to make it 6. Here you have it. So RX90 right here. scale to y-axis to give it a look like this. Maybe we can see from here. Let me cursor to world origin. See. This will work. And RY 45 or RY 90. Yeah, this will work. Control A to apply the scale, and we're going to give it a bevel modifier right here. So we're not going to change anything right here. So we're going to keep it like this so we can have this kind of shape going on. So I'm going to do one thing that I'm going to apply another bevel modifier in order to bevel these edges. So keep it and let's see if we can work it out. Yes, so I think this will work. Control A, scale, shade smooth, go to the shading tab, harden normals. So here we have it. The same things we're going to do, like we can just duplicate it and put it here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to tab mode, tab to edit mode, 3 to face, select face, Control S, cursor selected, and select this, Shift D, right click, Shift S, selection to cursor, easy. Same thing goes to this, Shift D to duplicate, right click to keep it on its space, Shift S, so Shift S, selection to cursor. So we're going to select this, sorry, Shift S, selection to cursor. Here we have it, cool. Same thing we're going to do right here. So we're going to just copy these two, this, this, and this. Shift D, GX. So keep it right here in order to make it like snap it together to right now you can't see that it's in the middle or not. So we're going to select this face, shift as cursor to selected, and we're going to like shift selection to cursor, GC like here. We're going to also move it around here. Okay, then we're going to move it shift as selection to cursor around here. We're going to keep it round here. Shift C, Shift C, like I'm gonna keep it here. This will work, and we're also going to need to duplicate in order to make it this. So we're going to duplicate it. Sorry. In order to pan, hold Shift, and you can use your middle mouse button to pan. You can also use this hand to pan and this to rotate, or you can just use the middle mouse to pan or move around the 3D world. Okay, so Shift D, right click, press S to tab into edit mode, select the face, keep it a bit up, maybe scale it, and this will give that look. So we're going to need this right here. Okay, and now we only need this cap, so it will be Shift S, cursor to select. We're going to add a cube, as you know. So tab G1. So we do have our origin to the this face, and we're going to scale it. And we're going to scale in the x-axis, z-axis, and we're also going to scale this. So Shift C, give this look, C to give this look. We're going to keep it here. Shift C around here. apply brown here. We can have this look. I think this will look good. Control A, scale. We're going to apply the bevel modifier. 3 segments. Picked. Shade smooth. Shading. Harden normals. Shade auto smooth. So here's the modeling done, and I think this video is going to be a bit longer than I think, but continue with this. So let's see. Okay, so we're done with the modeling part, and now we will go to the shading part. Okay, so here you do have a lot of options. So we did done with the modeling part. Now we're going to for the shading. So we're going for the sculpting, texture, and shading. Here you have. So this is our shading. So in Blender we do have what the, yeah, either you can go Eevee. So we do have two render engines in Blender. One's called Eevee, another called Cycle. Cycles for giving the best realistic look. So I'm going to change it to the Cycles GPU render, and it's going to look like this. So first of all, I'm not going to use the lighting setup, so you can use the SDRI. Now we're going to create the materials. So here we do have our if once you're going to click on it, it will create a material for you. Let me do it once again. So click on your object, new. It will create the material for you. Here you can change the name. So first of all, we're going to make the glass material. So glass, my bad. Okay. And this is our principal BSDF, where we do have our different properties. So first of all, we do have metallics, which going to make the surface metallic. Here you can control the metallic surface. Here you can control the roughness. And if you scroll down, there's an option called transmission, which is for the transparency. So we're going to change to the metallic, and it will give you this kind of look. So this is our basic glass material. We can also make advanced glass materials as well. So we're going to click on it, and here we're going to choose the glass material. So it's going to look like this. Same goes for this glass material, glass material. There you have it. So it's going to look like this. For our text, we're going to use, let me just open image editor, perfumes. Okay, so you can see here's our class material, and for this we're going to use the black color. So select your font, new, call it black, BLACK. Okay, and here you can just change the base color of it. So scroll down and you have a black color. You can also change a different properties. You can make it metallic and keep the roughness a bit low. So to have a shiny, same goes for it. We're going to change it for the black. Right. Now, in order to give it those colors that we have here, so for that you can just select your object. Here you can see that this shader is assigned to 4 different objects, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, correct? In order to make it its own, you can just select, click here. Now it's a different class material. We can make it class blue, and now we can change the color of it. So we're going to give it a blue color, just like this. Okay, so here we have it. You can also change the color to a bit, whatever color you want, you can give it, but I would go with the original design with a blue color. Same goes for this. Click here. I'm going to name it class red, and I'm going to change the color to the red. So you can turn on the saturation tab, and now it's looking red. Okay. And for this, it's just a cream metallic color. So I'm going to click here, metal, metal cap. Okay. And I'm going to change the metallic, change the roughness, and change the base color. You can give whatever color you want. Previously, I given it the silver color. I'm thinking if I can give it like gold or rose gold. So something like this will work. Like I think this will look good. So click on it here, Control A, L, and link materials. That's how you can link the materials. And we're also going to give this one the class material here. Same goes here. I'm going to give it a class material. And for this one, I'm just going to give metal cap, make it individual, and I will change the color. Saturation, hue, I can put saturation and increase the value. It will look like this. Uh, link materials, sorry, uh, link materials, and it will look like this. Or I think I should keep it the same. So I'm just going to give it the silver color. Okay, so that's how we done with our modeling and shading. Let's get back to our layout section and here we will start working on our scene setup. So, in order to make this scene again, so for that we can do one thing. We also left with these droplets. So I will leave a link for the droplet in the droplet generator. So you will just download that blind file and you can append it. So for in order to do it, we're going to go to file. You can't just copy and paste the node like we do have a new called node editor in which these droplets are made. So we're going to click file, append, and we're going to open that file. It will just take some time. So go to 3D Max Blender. Let me just pull it up for you guys. And perfume. Okay, so append. And you should check for node 3. And here you have option for droplet generator append. So here we're going to click on it, change it to geometry node editor, new, or going for the droplet. Here you go. You will have an option for droplets, and here you can control all the droplets. So I'm going to change the scale a bit, and right now you can see it's not in the right direction. Let's see for that. Big droplets, small. Let me small it, make it a bit smaller so I'll be able to see everything. So if you guys can see, it's not on the right direction. And in order to move these all of these objects together, you can do one thing that if I right now these all the objects are separate, you can't move them together. So you can do one thing. You can add, go to cursor to world origin, add empty in order to control all of your portals. So for that, I'm just going to use a cube empty. Okay, going to scale a bit. So it will look like this. And I'm doing one thing while selecting the empty. Select everything, Control P, keep transform. Now, like this, you can control your whole portal and it will be easier for you. Same thing we're going to do with this X. We're going to add cursor to selected, empty, cube, and scale Z, Control P, keep object. So Control S, cursor to world origin, selection to cursor. Going to keep it right here. This is how it's going to look. You can make it a bit smaller. It was a bit bigger like this. So yeah, it makes sense. Let's go with the lighting setup. So first of all, we're going to add a cube, make it a bit bigger, and keep it around here. Fuck this shit, man. Okay, let's get started and we will start working on our background, the scene, so and the lighting. So for that, I'm going to add a cube and GZ1, or I would say GZ minus 1. Yep, so it will just scale from here. Now we're going to need our camera to set up. So for that, I'm going to press A And here we have an option for the camera. Now, in order to go to the camera view, you have to press 0, and there you have your camera. And if you want to clip your camera for a view where you think that this look good, so let me just move it uh, to a corner. This was it, and we're going to keep it right here. Now I'm thinking that this is the best view, and I would like to keep my camera here, so I will just press Ctrl Alt 0, and my camera will snap to that view. Now you can manually adjust your camera and the settings. So I'm going to do one thing. You can also do one thing. Go press N, go to view, and there's an option to camera to view. You can just lock it. Your camera will lock, and whatever you're seeing in your camera, it will move according to that. I'm thinking that this is what will look good. Once you're happy with it, you can just unclick it and your camera will stay in that position only. Now we're going to give it a bit like this. We're going to rotate it like this, and you can just move it. I think this will look good, and we do need a plane. So I'm going to RX 90, scale it, and I'm going to keep it just behind it. So it will look like this, and now we can start working on our lighting. Let me just okay. So first of all, I'm going to add. So in the lighting, we do need three types of lighting. One is called key lighting. Second is called the backflick fill lighting, and the third one is called the oh wait, I forgot which one is called. Three main lightings. Key light, fill light, backlight. Okay, so whenever you're going to start make your lighting look better, you only have to use three type of lighting. One is key light, second is fill light, and third is the backlight. So key light is the light source where your light is coming from. So first of all, I'm going to add a light source which will be area light. So like this. Right now it's not that big. I'm going to give it strength of 1000 watts. It will look like this. I would like to use a disk, so it will look like this. So first of all, I'm going to here, here, and I need it here. Okay, and I'm not thinking that this is looking good. Go to big, and I'm going to make it 2000. This way it looks good. We can do also one thing. We can slip this window and keep this one in a camera view, so we'll see what's going on. Press T. Okay, now we can start working on it. And as I mentioned that this is like black color, so I'm going to give it a black color. So let me change it to the shader editor. Going to give it black. This one also going to be black. Wait, we can do one thing. Make it one. And if you're not able to find your nodes, you can also always do one thing, that click right left click. So Blender knows that you want to change something in this tab. Select Press A to select all, and then you can press delete in your numpad and it will get back all your nodes. So it's just a short trick that you can always use while using Blender. So right now we can see that this is very shiny. So for that we can do always change the roughness, and we can give it a bevel modifier. Just Control A, scale, and shading, the same option. Now it looks good. Okay, so we can then also take some inspiration from our previous project file as well. So I'm going to do one thing that I'll open that file for you guys. Let me open Sint a Blinder Perfume. Okay, so here we have it, and let me see what kind of lighting that I use. Okay, so there are the lighting that I have used. First one was this, and these two. Okay, so we're going to start using that. Control L to link the materials, so we will have something like this. Now, okay, we also going to, okay, so we can just duplicate it, Shift D, duplicate, Alt R to make the rotation. We will have it something like here, so it can look like this. We can always change the strength to around 3000, so it will work as a backlight. Then we're going to use these two light so it can light from this angle and this angle. So I am just duplicating it, X, Alt R to flip the rotation or set it to the right value, Shift S, selection to cursor, X, and now I'm going to RY 90. Give it this look. Going to, now you can see the reflections, which is like this. And you can also do one thing that you can change the transmission roughness a bit, like this. Same goes for this. Now it looks wicked, messy. So it's going to look like this. So we have some lighting going from here. We also going to add a one light more in the opposite direction. So RZ 180 GX. Here you can see it. GY. We will have a subtle lighting here, but I don't want to reflect it. So I'm going to make it down here, and I'm going to give it a strength of like 5000. So I have something like this going on. Cool, very cool. And you can always do one thing that I'm going to add another light. And if you go into this tab, it's called the constraint tab. You will find an option to track to this. So it will tell the light which object it should track. So I'm going to give it like this. I'm liking this shade here. And we can also do one thing that we can add a light here. So this can also be seen. I'm going to do one thing that I'm going to put another light behind this. So Shift D, Y, right here, RZ. Okay, like this. Now you can see it, correct? But we don't need it here, so I'm going to keep it here. Let me just a bit further. Set like it. So we will have something like this going on. Okay, right now we're going to do one thing more. So as I can see that we do set up our key lights here, but we do need to fill the gap between the lights. So I'm going to do one thing, go to color, and here I'm going to use the environment texture, not the environment. So you can use the HDRIs. So for that you can also use a Blender Kit add-on. Here I'm going for the HDRI. Would say this will work, and I'm going to create the strength for 0.2 round. There you have it. Now let's work for these droplets. Move this. I'm not liking this. So we do have a sky texture. So sky texture looks something like this. It's an built HDRI. You can create your own. I'm going to use Hoshek Whisk, something like this. And like this. Here you go. In order to render this, you can go to our render property, GPU. Right now I'm going to set it for the 32 denoise, again 32, so it will denoise for that. And I'm going to use the max samples of 256. Here you can change the resolution, so it's the output option where you can choose the resolution type. Currently it is set to 1920 by 1080 pixels. If you want it for making a 4K, you can change this for like 3080 by 2160. So now it will set for the 4K. I may be wrong about it, so let's see what are the resolution size for 4K. So it is 3840. Sorry, 3840. Here you go. And in order to render this, you can use few more. Like you can go to view and render, or you can press F12 on your keyboard and it will render it for you. It will take some time to render it. Just it depends on the samples and the resolution that you have set for your render output. So I have set for 256 and for 4K quality. Now it will just render it. Just wait for a few minutes. It totally depends on the computer. If your computer have a good specification, then it will work very quietly and it will do it very good, like really fast. So we can also do some post-processing in Blender, which is comes in the compositing part. I'm not going that much further, but you can do bit of compositing, so it will make your renders look pop out. Let's just wait once it's denoised. It is done. So we're going for the compositing tab, use nodes, and you can also do one thing. You can enable